From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, January 5th, 2019. Silver is trading at $15.71 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,285 per ounce. SmartCash is trading at 1.48 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,869. Antiwar.com reports last month's announced U.S. withdrawal from Syria took many nations by surprise. The subsequent disavowal of any and all timelines are only adding more questions. Americans may not be getting a lot of answers, but U.S. allies across the Middle East are likely to get some form of reassurance. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and National Security Advisor John Bolton will both be heading for the Middle East over the next several days, with Bolton making the rounds in Israel and Turkey, and Pompeo visiting much of the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. Broadly, these two are meant to be reassuring nations that the U.S. will remain heavily engaged in the region, and trying to explain how the U.S. stay in Syria is not indefinite when there's no definite timetable for it. Pompeo is also said to be discussing the possibility of sending GCC troops into Syria as an alternative to having U.S. troops there. That probably will not sit well with Turkey, which has already stated its desire to invade those areas where U.S. troops are embedded with the Kurds. It may, however, please Israel, as they are keen to keep fighters hostile towards Iran inside Syria. U.S. officials also suggested that Pompeo would address the murder of Jamal Khashoggi while in Saudi Arabia, addressing the lack of credibility of the Saudi narrative. If past administration discussions with the Saudis on this matter are any indication, this will largely involve brainstorming ways to ensure the Saudi crown prince is not officially blamed. SmartCash is a peer-to-peer digital currency that is fast, secure, and easy to use. SmartCash is building a foundation that can support daily transactions for people everywhere. One feature that sets SmartCash apart is the SmartHive governance model and how the community can vote to fund the best projects with block rewards stored in the SmartHive project treasury. Unlike other cryptocurrencies with voting systems, SmartCash allows everyone to participate. One smart equals one vote. Learn more at smartcash.cc. UPI reports a federal appeals court sided with the Trump administration on Friday by overturning a lower court that blocked a ban on transgender people serving in the military. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit ruling overturns one of four federal courts that blocked the administration's policy. The panel said Friday the ban should not have been blocked by the lower court while it was being challenged through the court system. Despite the ruling, though, the policy will remain blocked due to injunctions in three other cases. Trump introduced the policy in July 2017 on Twitter, followed by an official statement from former Secretary of Defense James Mattis. The Department of Defense said individuals who have gender dysphoria could not serve in the military, with some exceptions. Trump defended the decision, citing tremendous medical cost and disruption. In 1999, Daryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Daryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports the U.S. Supreme Court is giving itself another chance to make a definitive ruling on the legality of the long-standing but often criticized political practice called partisan gerrymandering, in which state legislators draw electoral districts with the intent of entrenching their party in power. The High Court, which failed to resolve the issue last year, on Friday agreed to hear constitutional challenges to electoral maps drawn by Republicans in North Carolina and by Democrats in Maryland. The court will hear arguments in both cases in March, with rulings due by the end of June that could have enduring political consequences nationwide. Critics have said partisan gerrymandering is becoming more extreme with the use of precision computer modeling, to the point that it has begun to warp democracy in certain states by subverting the will of voters. The High Court has struggled over what to do about this practice, in which boundaries of legislative districts are reconfigured by state lawmakers with the aim of making them friendly territory on election day for candidates in the party in power at the expense of opposition candidates. In the North Carolina case, Democratic voters accused the state's Republican-led legislature of drawing U.S. House districts in 2016 in a way that disadvantaged Democratic candidates in violation of the constitutional guarantee of equal protection under the law. A lower court sided with the Democratic voters. In the Maryland case, Republican voters accused Democratic legislators of violating their free speech by redrawing boundaries on one particular U.S. House district to hinder Republicans' chances of winning. This has been FPP Radio News, online at FPPRadio.com.